GLM 5.2 is now the state-of-the-art model and it's having its DeepSeek moment. So in today's video, I'll show you exactly how you can get started with the ultimate guide to GLM 5.2 and the GLM ecosystem. So in order to access GLM 5.2 or whatever model is the current newest from the GLM family, you essentially want to go over to chat.z.com or chat.z.ai. The link will be on screen right now. And this is where you're going to be able to access the newest state-of-the-art models. By default, it won't have the state-of-the-art model here. So if you click the top left and then change it to GLM 5.2, that's where you'll be able to access the newest model. Now, quick thing to know about chat.z, this is just a quality of life change that I would recommend is if you go into the settings. So if you click in the bottom left hand, your icon, and then you click settings, and then you go to appearance, you can change this to dark mode. And this is of course nothing crazy, but it is just something that I think is a quality of life change that most beginners would probably want to do. Now, one thing that you need to understand is that there are essentially two sections when you come to GLM in this chat interface. So if you click this, it'll essentially pop up and show you two areas, the chat area and the agent area. The chat area is essentially where you can focus on easy tasks like landing pages, mini games, and personal blogs. But the agent area is essentially where you focus on long, difficult tasks that require a lot more effort in terms of reasoning. So let's first focus on the chat interface. One of the first key features is that GLM does have search enabled. So by default, this makes it a good option for researching certain facts. So I can say, research that hype around USA quantum stocks. I've been hearing a few things today. Give me back a dedicated research report, but make it easy to understand. So here you can see, after thinking, it gives us a hype around the quantum stocks, a clear-eyed research report, gives us an executive summary, gives us what's driving the quantum stock hype, technological breakthroughs, key milestones. You can see what's really useful is that it also has these sources here. So if you're wondering where this specific source came from, you can go ahead and click that source right there and it's just going to pop up with the link. So hover over that and then click that and then it will pop up with that link. And I mean, if we scroll down, you can see it has a lot more information. Interestingly as well, you can see it input this information into a table, which is of course super useful. And then it talks about tech giants with quantum divisions. So IBM, Google, Microsoft, I've even made some videos on that. Then of course it talks about why analysts are concerned, extreme valuations, revenue reality check. And then so here it gives us another visualization, which is of course really cool. And so this is basically the timeline of how things are moving. And so we can zoom in and move around on this, which is super useful. And then you can see it gives us a lot of detailed information. Now remember, this search right here actually returned a pretty decent amount of information, but we can still improve on that. Now, I had this on the Deep Think High, and this wasn't even on the Deep Think Max, which is of course the highest version of thinking. So if you want to get your search to be even better, will be better, but it won't be that much crazier better. We can go on the advanced search right here. And then what we can now do is enter the same prompt or we can put it on max. So now it's essentially going to search with multi-round search, in-depth research, analysis. And of course, because it's got max thinking, and the thinking mode just means that it thinks longer about your query. This means it's going to have even more depth in terms of the answer. And so here you can see it did another search. This one was a little bit more in depth, although it did seem to return less information. This one did have on the advanced search, which is multi-round search, in-depth research, and analysis. So at the end of the day, depending on what your search is, this is going to be completely up to you. And of course, depending on the kind of topics you're researching, considering that this topic is pretty surface level information, meaning that the information is not that hard to find, you don't really need this deep level of research. Nonetheless, this is something that's still really useful. Next, what we do have is the ability for it to build different landing pages and stuff. So if we look at here where you can see landing pages, this is one of 5 different things that it prompts you to build. I would recommend looking at the previews here. When you click the previews, you'll be able to see exactly how well GLM 5.2 is at coding. Now, these things that it does code, these things are pretty basic in terms of the functionality because of course, you know, you can't actually use this as a URL, but considering that most of these are built in HTML, like many other platforms that are able to perform coding tasks, the difference here is of course, this is free. So this is going to be something that is super useful that you can do if you want it to perhaps build out a web page or a landing page for whatever it is that you might want. I know I need a landing page to collect emails sometimes, and this is going to be something that can get you started on that. And so with that, if you actually see any of these prompts, like let's say, for example, you see the preview of this one and you think it's really good. So let's say I click the preview here and I'm like, okay, I actually really like this. This one looks really nice. If you come back to this, you can just click the prompt button here and it's actually going to give you the exact prompt for that website. So if you then input that in, it's going to then go ahead and generate that website. Now for me, I won't go ahead and do the prompts because whilst this website is free, you have to remember that there are limitations where you will have to pay for it eventually if you continue to use the compute usage for this model. Then of course you can see we've got knowledge and teaching material. So once again, if you preview this, you'll be able to see how this model is able to construct some web pages or some slides that are able to be interactive and allow you to learn different things. So this is useful if you're trying to build educational assets. Maybe you're trying to build an interactive landing page that has people, that makes it more interactive. It's completely up to you. And so these kind of websites essentially just provide you the inspiration you need if you don't know where to start. So I'd recommend looking through these. For example, along here, you can see that they've got some 3D modeling. Some of these are really cool because otherwise you wouldn't realize just how good GLM 5.2 is. You see that this one is a space planner. And so here you can essentially plan out what you're going to have in, certain areas. So I mean, stuff like this is really, really creative, and it's very hard to think of these ideas out of the box. And that is the thing when you have these open source models, is that sometimes the only limitation is your creativity, which is what we're seeing here. And in addition to that, we have two other areas such as the personal blog and of course the minigame website. So essentially the chat function in the chat.z.ai area is super, super good. You get the search function, you get the deep think option, and you get the ability to look at websites where you can immediately get their prompt, and then you can go ahead and build those. Now that you understand how the chat function works, let's go over to the agent section. So if you click the agent section, this is where things get a little bit more intense. And this is where, number one, you are able to connect your GLM instance to either Telegram or Discord or your choice of connection. But this is where, if you look at the examples down below, you'll be able to see these are the kind of things that build full running websites, products, and long running tasks. And so this is essentially where if you have a task that is really difficult, this is the kind of area where you would prompt it. So for example, what we can do is we can hit the preview button here, and here you'll see the kind of task that GLM was able to do. So this was a task for it to build something called ZTube. And so the difference here with the agent is that it will then go ahead and think about all of these processes. So we can see here with the agent, you've got a simple prompt such as build a YouTube-like website, and then it goes off with this flag and it goes to 10 different steps that it's going to take in order to build that website. So here you can see explore the project structure, plan a YouTube-like website, build a database schema, build a core UI, build a video watch page. And I want you guys to understand the difference here is that if you're not looking to build a database schema, build all of these extra systems and have the model really go in depth, then I would just stick to the chat function because that is essentially what that section is for. But this agent area is where that's going to break down your task. And this is where you have the section of the AI that will break down your task into multi-step processes so that it can become much more effective at completing your task in detail. So this is what the GLM agent side is. And so we can look at the other one. So for these long running tasks here, this is basically where you get the model, of course, to build out these long running difficult tasks. And these can be websites with actual databases and fully functioning websites. And so with this section, I would say that this is recommended for building in detailed websites that actually have databases and stuff, or actual inbuilt web apps that actually do function. Like you can see here, for example, we can see here, this one is a fully functioning web app / emulator. And this is something that required a long prompting chain, which you can see right here. So this is something that does work. And this is something that, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do in the other chat function. So this is for those of you who want to test out different prototypes, something that is super duper useful. So essentially what I will say is that I won't actually run a prompt now, because when you do run a prompt here, you are going to be consuming a lot of the compute credits. And if you eventually do that, eventually what will happen is they will prompt you to pay for the service, because it is free for a certain amount each day. So you do get a free usage, but once you reach that usage cap, eventually you do switch to a paid tier that you will eventually have to pay for. And the last thing I want to show you guys is their PowerPoint agent. So on the left hand side, you'll be able to see an agent here, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be adding more, but essentially you can create any kind of PowerPoint that you do want. So here they have tons and tons of templates that you can use. Many of these are by default having Chinese text on them because of course it's a Chinese open source company. So it is important to understand that if you're going to prompt these, make sure that you do explicitly state that you do want it in English, or there will be some Chinese text there. But yeah, this PowerPoint agent essentially can do that for you. So you can see you've got a marketing one here. And the only reason I'm not putting the prompts in is because of course it's going to use up my usage credits. So what you can do is if you want to use a specific one, you can click that. And then what you can do is you can essentially use that template. So I can say create a PowerPoint on why companies are cutting back AI agent usage due to exploding costs. And now it's going to go ahead and use that specific template in order to create the PowerPoint. Now, another thing as well is that this will frequently happen if you are using the app during peak hours. It says currently GLM 5.2 is intensifying the coordination of resources. Please switch to GLM 5 Turbo or try again later. Essentially, all this means is that they are just experiencing high usage. And right now, GLM 5.2 is exploding like the entire GLM ecosystem because they've managed to basically catch up to frontier levels. So what you need to do here is, you can either just, completely forget about the prompt for the time being and come back later, or you can switch to GLM 5 Turbo. Now, you can essentially just retry it, or you can essentially just wait. Now, sometimes if you retry it immediately, it will work, but sometimes it just won't work and you'll just have to use GLM 5 Turbo for most of your tasks, which of course is not that good of a model. And here you can see it offers these different questions. And so I'm going to do investors and analysts. We're going to keep this tight, and you can see which visual reference. So I'm going to do strike press, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click continue. And then all I have to now do is simply wait. And so here you can see I get the final PowerPoint presentation, and this actually looks really good. And so here you can get a quick preview of the PowerPoint. So here it says the AI agent pullback. You can literally edit the text. So this is actually really nice. Most, PowerPoint, agents actually don't offer this. It talks about why enterprise spend is retreating as the unit economics break. Then you can see it gives me more information here. You manage to scroll down. It gives me more of this. And including that, it gives me the speaker notes as well. So that's really useful. You can see it actually includes real images here as well. Real images pulled from the internet. And so this is something that, I don't know, I think it's pretty niche, but it is something that's pretty cool. And of course, you can download this and open this in whatever, PowerPoint version you have. So you've got PowerPoint presentation or you've got a PDF. Now, if you are wondering about the paid plans, so you can have the GLM coding plan, and this is a plan that you can subscribe to for higher limits. So essentially what this allows you to do as well is access it through the API. You can see monthly, it starts at around $20 a month, which is pretty standard in the AI industry. And so this is for those of you who want to essentially have reliable production grade code. So, like I said in the beginning, this is a model that is basically near on par with open source state of the art. And so this is the area where you essentially can use this in your IDEs. So essentially once you subscribe, you'll be able to use this in whenever you can. Now remember guys, you can use this in Claude Code and you can use this in Codex if you want to have cheaper costs. It's completely up to you. And so if you're wondering which one you want to, run it in, for example, you can see for Claude Code, you just click Claude Code. It's going to show you how to use the GLM coding plan in Claude Code. So you can see right here, installing the Claude Code. It tells you, of course, how to install Claude Code, which most you probably already have. Then, of course, configuration is here. You just get the API key, which I just said. Then configure your environment variables. Then, of course, you can essentially just start working with this in Claude Code, which is, of course, super useful. Now, another thing that I think most people will miss is, of course, the image generation side. So they do have this thing called GLM image, and it is pretty good and it is free. But there are a few things that you should know. So GLM image is essentially their version of Nano Banana, but it is slightly worse. Now, I don't say that just to, mock them or anything like that. It's just the fact is that it's just a little bit worse, which means it's still relatively good. And remember, this is completely free. So the only problems that I do have with this is that you don't get to add an image. So right here, there's no ability for me to add an input image to change the style. So if I do want to have an image in a specific style, the best thing I can do is get my desired image, use a JSON prompt, and then use that JSON prompt as a simple prompt. Now I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean by that. So what I will do is, let's say I will go on Google and I'll find an infographic. What I can do now is I can get something super basic. I don't want something too crazily detailed. So let me go infographic simple. And so what I'll do is I'll copy this. I'm going to go to a different model and say I'll put a JSON prompt of this image. And so with that, we get this JSON prompt here. So I can copy this code. And then what I can do is I can just essentially just put this image in. Now, one thing that you need to do is you need to essentially specify that your image must be in English, because I did this before and it will just output an image in native Chinese. So I need to say in English. Okay. And then we can start the generation. So now it should essentially put out the image. Now remember guys as well, it doesn't have the best text formatting, so it's not good as Nano Banana. So there will be some mistakes in the image. So I personally wouldn't use this for generating images with text. I'd more so use it as images, just for whatever blog, or, maybe you need it for a video, just standard image generation. And so here you can see it actually gives us another image, which is kind of similar to the JSON prompt that we did have. I mean, it did have the ppcoaching.net. You can see that there are some mistakes on the text here. Like I said, it's like Nano Banana, but it, just isn't as good. But at the end of the day, it's still basically can give you a rough draft. Of course, you can change your different aspect ratios, which is good. And you can, of course, make sure you always tick no watermark. Now, something to note in terms of the multimodality that most people don't talk about is that this model is kind of multimodal. And when I say kind of, I mean that you can use it to analyze images, but that isn't really what the model is designed to do. The GLM 5.2 model is essentially designed to basically be text and code only. That's where it, sort of specializes. So it is important to understand that aspect. So you can't actually analyze videos despite you being able to upload videos, because I have uploaded edited videos and it doesn't work, but you can upload images and it will actually tell you what's inside image. So if I put in one of my thumbnails and I say what's inside this image, and I'm using GLM 5 Turbo because right now the compute costs are just too high. And so here you can see it says, based on the description you provided, here's what's inside the image: a person dressed in a suit while making a gesture. It talks about the text. And so this is something that, you know, I mean, I guess you can use this to analyze images, but it wouldn't be, you know, potentially your first choice.